right, welcome back to Hobby Jogger Elite. It is tune-up race week. If you can remember, at the end of my last video, I talked about how some of these Daniels Running Formula long run workouts, or just in general, some of the workouts on this 2 quality session plan that I use are oftentimes a lot of quality miles on top of each other. This particular workout this week, which was going to be my long run this weekend, was a total of 15 quality miles, I think 13 of them being at a marathon effort or marathon pace, 2 of them being threshold. So I hopped in a half marathon, which is now in 5 days' time. It will be taking place this Sunday in the city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the Harrisburg Half Marathon. So I decided to do that instead of this long workout, and I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to treat this as just a long marathon pace session, or if I'm going to treat it as an actual half marathon race, albeit racing on very tired legs without an actual taper, because I will still be probably not getting right up to 80 miles like I have been on a weekly basis the past couple weeks, but at least approaching that week. So today is going to be our sort of quote-unquote tune-up workout, even though it is just a normal workout. If I was actually training for just a half marathon, I would make my workout a little bit smaller on race week, a little bit shorter, probably have like less distance in each interval. Instead, we are doing sort of a pretty bread and butter quality workout that repeats itself throughout the marathon plans that I have used with Daniels Running Formula, and that will be 3 by a mile at a threshold-ish effort, 3 by a K, and 3 by 400. The Ks and 400s are supposed to be a bit quicker than the miles. That is the hope. I hope to be able to accomplish that. Done lacing up the Alpha Flies right now because I think I'm going to race in my pair with less miles on them for the half marathon this weekend. Warm-up was about 3 miles, 25 minutes. Threw in, I think it was like 4 strides there at the end just to get some turnover. Again, the intention here is to sort of spend the first mile repeat of the 3 by mile, kind of finding whatever threshold, sub-threshold, half marathon-ish pace rhythm that I can find. See if that feels good for the other 2, or if I can go a little faster, if it, just based on experience, it feels like I could be able to hold that for a good amount of time. So that's the plan here. And then Ks will hopefully be a little faster. 400's even faster than that. Slept all right last night. Don't feel amazing, but don't feel bad right now. Definitely feel either like caffeine jittery because I had some coffee before this, or just like a little depleted. I might not be fueling enough after running some of this higher mileage, cumulative fatigue of 70 to 80 plus mile weeks over and over again. Definitely sits with you, so need to be conscious of that, but I'm gonna see what we can do here. All right, first threshold mile repeat of the 3 done. Did it in 6:08. It is simply amazing what a day that is cooler by about even 10 degrees Fahrenheit can do for you when it comes to just how you feel in the middle of a rep or at a certain pace. The first rep of the workout, and nobody wants to get ahead of themselves, but weather is something I feel like I tend to ignore quite a bit and hold myself to the same standard in 75 degree 100% humidity weather the same way I would in like 50 degree 80% humidity weather. So something to keep in mind if you tend to do the same thing. Like, our bodies hate working hard when it's hot. Yeah, but we got a 2.5 minute rest here. Just doing a very slow jog till the next rep. All right, second threshold mile done in, it was either 6:02 or 6:01, but felt pretty good. Tried to sort of ease into that one and then work up to speed towards the end of it, so felt smooth the whole way. Gonna do one more rep heading this way, which I think on this very flat trail is just like the slightest bit downhill, and then back is always the slightest bit uphill, but I feel like you can just feel it. It sort of gets in my head, so hopefully those Ks go well, but one more mile rep going this way. Ooh. The third and final mile repeat there, 5:57. So got a little bit quicker each one. Tried to approach, I guess, what feels like, at least in these conditions on this day, what feels like sort of like a true threshold to me, which in my mind, at least when I train, what I'm trying to do is find that effort or that pace that is like exactly between 10K and half marathon, or that heart rate, for instance. You know, heart rate can vary a lot for some people on even like a run-to-run, day-to-day basis. Definitely, again, depending on conditions, sleep, nutrition, all of that stuff, whether you had caffeine or not. But mine tends to be pretty consistent. I know that I have in the past been able to, in recent years, run what I thought at the time, like my first real half marathon, sort of my peak half marathon capability in the low 170s for heart rate. And I did the same thing last year during sort of a 10K tempo, 10K threshold sort of workout where I ran pretty much even the whole way, like approaching and then right at 170 beats per minute for me. So that's kind of what I try to do when I don't really know what else to do. I just try to approach, if I don't know the feeling, the pace, 170 beats per minute, and then just hold it there. And I think ideally I would be able to hold that level of effort and that correlating pace for an hour. So that's the motivation there. All right, first K done. I think it was about 3:33 maybe. It's like 5:44 pace for the mile. Definitely felt like I picked it up quite a bit, which I did in comparison to those miles, but solid. The goal is to not, at least from my understanding, with interval pace under the Daniels running formula, shouldn't completely cook yourselves when it is I pace or interval pace, which is what these Ks are at, the miles being threshold, and then the Ks being interval. The 400s pretty much coming closer to actual, like, not 100%, but you're running pretty hard for those. So there's sort of a progression in terms of exerting effort for each designation, so to speak, with Daniels running formula. So I'm gonna try to just stay in the like mid to low 330s for these last 2Ks, 540 mile range for pace, and then hopefully the 400s we have a little bit of gas. The recoveries are longer for those, so that gives me some hope. Back in the trunk, workout is over. That was not like anything, again, nothing flashy, nothing insane that jumps off the page, but easily I think my best workout of the block so far. Definitely a confidence booster, and again, like I was saying, a reminder that, you know, the changing of the weather, you know, cool temps changes so incredibly much. Obviously you can always hope for the best, and you know, the expected thing is that they start to drop, you know, around September, October, but it doesn't always happen, and sometimes it comes in waves, so it feels like heaven, but it might not be that way on race day for Chicago, or even race day this weekend for that matter. So just like I needed that workout. The Ks were 333, 333, and 335. So pretty consistent there. And then consistent through the 400s with 80 seconds, 81 high, and 81 low. Felt nice sort of progressing through the gears throughout that run. It feels so foreign sometimes to be running fast like that during a marathon block, you know, as somebody who's run 2:53 in the marathon, you know, 6.5 minute pace for 26 straight miles. It still feels weird to run hard, and hard, you know, being something as little as like 5:20 pace for a 400 meter rep. It feels like I'm sprinting. It feels so foreign, especially less than 6 weeks out from a marathon, but definitely feels like a good thing to do. Happy with that. So gonna cool down 2 miles and then, yeah, take it easy until race day this weekend. All right, it is currently Saturday afternoon, about 2:30 p.m., and we are in our Harrisburg Airbnb here. Just decided to sort of bite the bullet. You know, it's easier. It's one less thing to sort of worry about when you have to drive an hour and a half. Got the layout going already. Got the Lululemon racing in the Nike Aeroswift tights for the first time. Got the usual Alpha Flies there. Went for like a 10K shakeout earlier today, a little over 6 miles. Not really tapered. I would say my legs don't feel quite as heavy or as tired as they typically do around these 80-mile weeks, sitting at about the 58-mile range, I think, right now. So definitely not fully rested legs, but I feel like I can put a good effort in. So I don't think I'm just gonna approach this like a safe little marathon effort type of workout, because, you know, what's the fun in that? I think I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas. Maybe not an all-out effort, knowing that I have to sort of get back into 70 to 80 miles next week. And next week starts the day after tomorrow. We're definitely gonna see what we can do out here. Getting a little bit of revenge. My third attempt at going sub 3 failed on this course when I did 2 full loops of it, so hopefully we have a little bit better luck with 1 loop. Okay, we are up. It is race morning. Got up at about 5 a.m. It is 6 a.m. on the dot right now. As you can see by that clock, that is an hour ahead behind me. A race starts at 8 o'clock, so woke up 3 hours before, pretty much got in the pre-race nutrition, kind of same deal that I do with a marathon, with a long run. I just kind of stick to the basics. 3 pieces of white bread with some honey and then some coffee, and 2 servings of Tailwind, approaching like 130, 140 grams of carbs for the pre-race meal. And then I'll probably have a gel as well. So probably be in that like 150 grams of carbs range. And yeah, sleep was fine. You know, probably got in, according to my Coros watch, a little over 7 hours, which is probably above the average for the night before a race. So not upset about that at all. Legs are feeling good. Legs are feeling fine. Yesterday, it was 75 degrees Fahrenheit here for a good portion of the day. Last time I looked at the weather about half an hour ago, the real feel outside was 50 on the dot. Quite the temperature drop. Hopefully some good signs of good things to come. And yeah, gonna head over there soon. I start to warm up and get ready for this thing. We got a primo parking spot here. Already used the porta potty twice, and it is only 6:40 a.m. The race doesn't start for an hour and 20 minutes, so it is way too early to warm up. Plan is to only run about 2 miles for the warm-up. By my calculations, that will take not an hour and 20 minutes. I am like a extremist when it comes to getting places early. Let me know if you're as bad as I am. I went from planning to just wake up at my house, take the hour, 15-minute drive here, you know, leave around like 5:30 in the morning from my house, get here a little bit before 7. That was my plan earlier this week, and naturally, my very anxious self absolutely took every single precaution, booked a Airbnb last second, in doing so just to avoid the stress of the trip and to avoid any risks of not getting here early. I still got myself here too early, so that's just the way we do things here, you know? I am paying to stay places that are not my house just so I can get a good parking spot and have to put off my warm-up longer. All right, nearly a mile into this warm-up, currently on what I think is part of the course. From what I remember, at least about the half marathon course, it definitely is, but feeling good, feeling solid, mostly flat. Cannot complain about course conditions or the weather. 40 minutes till the start of the race, so I think I want to go around 2 miles. Never been a huge warm-up before a race type of guy, especially with the marathon, because you don't really need it, but for the half, I think it's not going to hurt. Going a little bit quicker, a little bit shorter of a race. All right, warmed up about 25 minutes. Kept it real nice and easy. It is 7:41, doing a little bit of a sunglasses change because the water is reflecting the sun very, very strongly right now, and I get ocular migraines, so that could be bad. But other than that, all systems a go. Feeling good. Plan is to, I think, take it out easy. Easy meaning not quite like half marathonish effort, more like a marathon effort, and then just work down a little bit, play it safe, but have some fun racing, and see how it goes. I'm not going to take the camera with me because I do not have enough pockets. My one pocket is for my car keys, so we'll catch up afterward. All right, race is over. Solid one, definitely a solid one. Talking with some fellow runners on the start line about what we were shooting for. I kind of said, you know, I have a marathon coming up in about a month. Kind of was out there to just run steady. Ended up sort of abandoning that after the first mile. I just kind of said to myself, you know what, you don't know how many opportunities you have to come race a half marathon, so why not? So I sent it. GPS data seemed a little wonky with the mile mark splits. So I essentially, by like mile 3, 5K mark, I had no idea how fast I was running. And I think I ended up going a little faster than I wanted to. Didn't fade as much as I thought I would, but definitely faded a little towards the end and crossed the line in 1:20:43, which on tired legs at 75 miles for the week, much faster than I thought I was, despite not wanting to at all. I'm currently running a very pathetic cool down. Probably lasts till about 1.5 miles for the cool down and call it there. But yeah, definitely gave it more than anticipated. Home stretch was downhill. My quads feel destroyed. Very proud of the time though.